The warning did not begin with words. It began with silence. For 3 seconds, every signal on Earth stopped. Satellites froze, radios died, screens went black. Even the constant hum of global data vanished, like the universe itself had taken a breath. Then the screaming started. Colonel Aaron Hale stood in the underground command chamber as the main screen burst to life. Cities burned, oceans boiled, entire planets shattered under beams of alien fire. The footage jumped from world to world, extinction after extinction, smooth cuts, perfect angles. No mercy. Someone whispered, "Is this live?" "No," Hale said quietly. "This is recorded." That made it worse. The message had been sent on every frequency Earth possessed. Military bands, civilian networks, old, forgotten channels humanity hadn't used in decades. The same video, the same message. This is what happens when you refuse. General Miriam Cross stepped beside Hale, her face tight. The analysts say, every species in this footage either surrendered or no longer exists. The screen showed a final image, a planet cracking apart, its core exposed like a wound. Then text appeared. "You have been warned." Around the room, officers argued, shouted, prayed. Some demanded immediate surrender. Others talked about nukes, evacuation, desperate plans that everyone knew were lies. Hale didn't speak. He was watching the weapons. Pause. He said. The room hesitated. Pause it. He repeated, louder. The image froze on a massive alien warship firing a glowing beam toward the surface below. Hale stepped closer. Zoom in. The technicians obeyed. Replay the firing sequence, Hale said. Slow. The beam fired again. Hale counted silently, his eyes narrowed. He replayed it a third time. There, he said. Cross frowned. There what? The gap, Hale replied. Between shots, the weapon glowed, faded, then recharged. 17 seconds. He said calmly. The room went quiet. You're counting reload times. An admiral snapped. Colonel, we're watching the end of civilizations, and that, Hale replied, is exactly why I'm counting. He turned to the room. They didn't send this to scare us, he said. They sent it to teach us how they kill. The words landed heavy. Across Earth, the world panicked. Stock markets collapsed in minutes. Cities filled with sirens. Governments went into lockdown. People cried, screamed, prayed, and waited for the sky to fall. But underground, something else happened. Humanity started studying. 6 hours after the warning, the Emergency Global Council met in a sealed chamber beneath Geneva. Holographic screens surrounded the delegates, each replaying the same alien footage. We have two choices, the Secretary General said. Surrender or fight. And if we surrender, someone asked. Hale answered before anyone else could. We become the next video. Silence followed. Hale brought up a new display. Slow motion breakdowns of alien ships. Heat maps. Movement patterns. They always advance in formation, he said. Always. No variation. That means discipline, a general said. Experience. No. Hale corrected. It means habit. He switched clips. Watched their ground troops. They clear rooms the same way. Every time. Left bias. Same angles. Same timing. Cross leaned forward. You're saying they're predictable. I'm saying. Hale replied. They've been winning the same way for a very long time. In orbit far beyond Earth. The Galactic Dominion observed. Commander Thrax stood on the bridge of the Drake carrier Eternal Verdict, his many eyes tracking Earth's frantic signals. Panic surged across the planet in perfect patterns. As expected, he said, they scream, they argue, they fracture. His sub-commander hesitated. Fleet Commander, Earth's industrial output is spiking. Thrax waved it away. Fear, behavior. They build weapons to feel control. They are not building randomly. The sub-commander said carefully, they are building very specific things. Thrax's feeding tendrils twitched in amusement. No species adapts them for months. That is why the warning works on Earth. Factories did not shut down. They transformed. Car plants became armor lines. Shipyards tore apart cargo vessels and rebuilt them for war. Old blueprints were dragged from archives. Engineers slept on floors. Scientists argued, failed, tried again. Dr. Lena Morozova watched alien shields collapse in simulation. They're elegant, she said. To elegant. What does that mean? Hale asked. They rely on perfect frequency balance, she replied. We don't fight clean. Hale smiled faintly. Good. 2 days later, First sentence reply. No speech. No threat. Just one line. Message received. Thank you for the demonstration. When the Dominion received it, confusion spread across the bridge. They expressed gratitude. An officer asked, "Ray translate." Thrax ordered. The message repeated, same meaning, same tone. Gratitude. Thrax stared at the words longer than necessary. No species has ever said this. He said slowly, perhaps, the sub-commander suggested, they misunderstand the warning. Thrax turned away. They will understand. Soon enough. Back on Earth, Hale watched new data pour in. Orbital construction began. Training simulations ran 24 hours a day. Soldiers practiced fighting enemies they had never met, using footage their enemies had proudly shared. A junior officer approached Hale. "Sir, are we actually doing this?" Hale didn't look away from the screen. "We don't have time to be afraid," he said. "Fear is what they plan for." He paused, then added quietly, "We're not fighting gods. We're fighting a system. Above them all." The alien fleet accelerated. Arrival time moved forward. Earth now had less time. And for the first time in 4,000 years, the Galactic Dominion had unknowingly given its enemy exactly what it needed, a lesson. Earth did not sleep. It worked. 3 weeks after the warning, the planet looked calm from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, green land. Anyone watching from afar would think humanity was frozen in fear, but beneath the surface, Earth had become a machine. Colonel Aaron Hill stood on a metal platform above what used to be a civilian shipyard. Now it was something else entirely. Sparks flew, cranes screamed. Welders worked in shifts so tight that the factory lights never turned off. Below him, a cargo freighter was being cut apart and rebuilt into a warship. Ugly, Major Ethan Brooks said beside him. Hale nodded. "Good. Pretty ships are built for parades." A technician ran up. "Breathless, sir. Prototype armor test is ready." They moved quickly through the facility into a sealed chamber. Behind thick glass sat a slab of dull, gray plating. Nothing impressive. No shine. No markings. Fire. Hale said, "A plasma cannon. Built using alien footage as reference. Fired. The beam struck the armor and spread. Instead of burning through, the energy bloomed outward in a bright, harmless flare. Light flooded the chamber. The armor remained intact. Silence. Then someone laughed. "It dispersed it," Brooks said. "Like throwing water on glass." Double quotes. Dr. Morozova folded her arms, satisfied. "Alien plasma relies on containment. We broke the pattern." Hale exhaled. Slowly. "How long until mass production?" Morozova smiled thinly. "If we steal half the world's ceramic supply, 2 weeks. Do it," Hale said without hesitation. Across the planet, similar moments happened. In deserts, pilots trained against alien maneuver simulations. In cities, troops practiced clearing rooms based on enemy habits. Every weakness became a lesson. Every pattern became a target. Humanity was not improvising. Humanity was learning. On the bridge of the eternal verdict, Commander Thrax stared at the data again. Earth's military output had increased by 300%. "Explain," he demanded. Commander Velis shifted uneasily. "They are not scattering. They are focusing." "Focusing on what?" Thrax snapped. Velis hesitated. "On us." Thrax's tendrils tightened. "Impossible. They have no combat history against the Dominion." "They have our warning," Velis replied. Thrax turned sharply. "The warning inspires surrender," he said. "It always has." Velis did not respond. Thrax dismissed him with a flick of his limb, but doubt lingered. Something about this species felt wrong. They were not begging. They were not threatening. They were quiet. That had never happened before. Back on Earth, the Global Council reconvened. This time, no one talked about surrender. Hale stood at the center of the room, surrounded by screens showing ship schematics, training data, and alien fleet projections. "We cannot match them ship for ship," Hale said, "but we don't need to." An admiral frowned. "Then what are we planning?" Hale pointed to the screen. "They move like a machine," he said, "so we fight like chaos." He switched displays. Distributed command. No single target. No central fleet. Every ship independent, but connected. "Guerrilla warfare," someone said. "In space," Hale replied. Another screen lit up. "And this? Psychology," Hale said. "They believe the warning ends wars before they start." He paused. So we showed them something else. That same day, Earth began broadcasting, not threats, not propaganda, footage, raw clips of factories, running nonstop, soldiers training, engineers tearing alien tech apart with calm precision, scientists laughing when something failed, then trying again. No narration, no boasting. Just proof. The broadcast leaked. Then spread across neutral systems, fringe worlds, even Dominion-controlled space. Species who had once seen the warning now saw something new, a world that refused to bow. On the eternal verdict, alarms chimed. Unauthorized broadcast detected. An officer said. Thrax watched silently as the screen filled with images of Earth's preparations. They show weakness, he said, but his voice lacked confidence. Velis stepped forward. Fleet Commander, some systems are rebroadcasting it. Why? Thrax demanded. Velis swallowed. They are studying, for the first time in his long career. Thrax felt something unfamiliar. Concerned. 2 months after the warning, the Dominion accelerated its fleet. Arrival times shortened again. Earth now had weeks, not months. Cities dug deeper shelters. Civilian evacuation plans activated. Humanity prepared to lose ground, but not the fight. Hale stood alone in the command center late at night, watching a simulation play out. Alien ships entered orbit. Human defenses failed. Cities burned. Hale let it run. Then he adjusted one variable. Human ships attacked not from orbit, but from behind the moon. The simulation changed. Alien formation broke. Losses increased. Hale smiled faintly. We bleed them first. He murmured. A message arrived moments later from the Dominion. Short, cold. Prepare for final compliance. Hale read it once, then sent it to every command center on Earth. He added one note. Good. They're nervous. As the alien fleet burned toward Earth, the galaxy watched, some in fear, some in awe, and some with a dangerous new idea forming in their minds. If one world could learn from the warning, what else had the Dominion taught its enemies? The first alien ship died before Earth made a single speech. It happened in silence. High above the moon, the eternal verdict scout wing slid out of fold space exactly where Dominion doctrine said. It should safe distance, clean angles, no resistance expected. Commander Thrax watched from the command deck as icons settled into perfect formation. Deploy observation grid, he ordered calmly. Then space exploded. From behind the moon's shadow, metal shapes burst forward at impossible angles. Not sleek warships, not elegant alien designs. Human ships, cargo hulls wrapped in armor, mining rigs with guns welded on, missiles streaking like angry insects. What is that? An officer shouted. Before anyone could answer, the first plasma shot fired. It hit a human ship square in the hull and did nothing. The energy spread across the armor like spilled light and vanished. For half a second, the bridge was silent. The human rail guns fired. Tungsten slugs punched through alien shields before they could fully form. One scout vessel shattered, split clean in two. Alarm screamed. Return fire. Thrax roared, but the human ships were already moving, breaking formation, scattering, attacking from vectors Dominion targeting systems were never designed to track. They're inside our blind arcs. Vela shouted. Another alien ship detonated. Then another. On Earth, Colonel Aaron Hale watched the battle unfold in real time. Phase 1 successful. A technician reported, voice shaking with disbelief. Hale did not smile. Pull them back. He said. The human ships retreated instantly, vanishing behind lunar debris and signal jammers. The Dominion scouts were left floating in wreckage. The first clash lasted 90 seconds. It changed everything. On the eternal verdict, damaged crews worked frantically. Thrax stared at the tactical display, his confidence cracking. They knew, he whispered. Velis nodded slowly. They knew where we would appear. They knew our shield cycle. They knew our firing delay. Thrax clenched his limbs. From the warning. Yes, Velis said quietly. That single word echoed like an accusation. Meanwhile, Earth erupted not in celebration, but focus. Factories increased output again. Recruitment lines stretched for miles. Scientists slept under desks. Humanity had tasted blood, and it had tasted alien fear. Hale addressed the Global Defense Council hours later. They will adapt, he warned. They always have. An admiral leaned forward. But now they know. We can hurt them. That's the danger. Hale replied. Cornered predators don't retreat. They escalate. As if summoned by his words, an alert chimed. Dominion fleet accelerating. Full force. 3 days to Earth orbit. Silence gripped the room. Then we moved to phase 2. Hale said. Across the solar system, something strange began to happen. Old satellites reactivated. Asteroids shifted positions. Dead mining platforms powered up for the first time in decades. The Dominion fleet arrived expecting resistance. What they found was a maze. As the Armada entered Earth's outer system, proximity alarms screamed. Mines, hundreds of them detonated. Across expected approach lanes, who places weapons in navigational safe zones? An alien captain shouted, "Humans!" Thrax growled. The fleet pressed forward. Human fighters swarmed, attacking supply ships, not warships. Logistics collapsed. Refueling craft burned. Dominion doctrine unraveled. Then came the message, broadcast on every channel. Colonel Hale's voice, calm and measured, to the Dominion fleet. "We received your warning. Thank you for the demonstration." Thrax slammed his command limb onto the console. Cut. Transmission. But it was delayed. Across the galaxy, the message replayed. Human ships struck again, this time closer to Earth. The moon bristled with hidden weapons. Rail cannons fired from unexpected angles. Missiles curved mid-flight, guided by targeting. Data stolen from alien wreckage. Dominion casualties climbed. Still, the fleet pushed on. Numbers mattered. Earth began to burn. Orbital platforms fell. Cities vanished in white fire. Millions died. But humanity did not stop. Ground-based weapons rose from oceans. Aircraft attacked ships that should have been unreachable. Boarding parties breached alien hulls, targeting exact structural weak points. On the bridge of the eternal verdict, Velis whispered, "They're fighting like us?" "No," Thrax said softly. "They're fighting like they learned us." A new alarm blared. "Fleet commander." An officer cried. Multiple internal detonations across the line. Human boarding teams had succeeded. Alien ships exploded from the inside. Thrax watched his perfect formation dissolve into chaos for the first time in 4,000 years. The Dominion fleet hesitated. On Earth, Hale leaned over the tactical table. "They're pulling back," Brooke said in disbelief. "For now," Hale replied. "They're thinking." Hale knew what that meant. The first battle had not decided the war, but it had shattered a myth. The Dominion was not invincible, and the galaxy was watching. As Dominion ships regrouped beyond Earth orbit, transmissions flooded space recordings of their losses, their failures, their weaknesses. Shared. Copied. Studied. Thrax stood alone on the darkened bridge, staring at Earth. "They said thank you," he murmured. He finally understood the warning's true flaw. It assumed fear was universal. It had never considered curiosity. Earth did not win the next battle. It survived it. The Dominion returned with fury. This time, there was no testing, no caution, no ritual pride. The alien fleet burned toward Earth in a tight, brutal formation, shields overlapping, weapons hot. Commander. Thrax watched the blue planet grow large on the main screen. "No more restraint," he ordered. "Erase their will." The sky over Earth turned white. Plasma rained down like artificial suns. Orbital defense rings shattered. Lunar gun platforms were torn apart one by one. In Tokyo, the ocean boiled. In New York, the skyline vanished in a single flash. In Delhi, the ground shook so hard the city split. Earth screamed. In the underground command center, Colonel Aaron Hale stood motionless as casualty numbers climbed fast to read. "Cities are falling," an aide whispered. "I know," Hale replied. Another voice broke in. "We're losing orbital control. 30% of defense platforms destroyed." Hale closed his eyes for half a second. Then he spoke. "Begin phase 3. Across the planet, sealed doors opened. Weapons humanity hoped never to use came online. Subterranean rail cannons fired through mountains, their rounds punching through atmosphere and shields alike. Old missile silos launched new payloads, warheads, tuned not for destruction, but disruption. Alien shields flickered on the Dominion bridge. Alarms stacked on alarms. "They're targeting our harmonics again," Velis shouted. Thrax snarled. "Adapt." "We are," Velis replied, fear creeping into his tone. "But every change we make, they counter within minutes." Thrax stared at Earth. No species learned this fast. Human fighters surged upward from hidden bases carved into glaciers and deserts. They didn't aim for battleships anymore. They aimed for command ships. They aimed for Thrax. A human task force broke through escort lines, losing 3 ships to bring down 1 Dominion cruiser. It detonated close enough to rock the eternal verdict. The bridge shook. Direct hit warnings. An officer cried. For the first time, Thrax felt something unfamiliar. not fear. On Earth. Hale watched the invasion tear across the planet. Millions dead, more dying. Sir, Brooks said quietly, if this continues, we won't last. Hale nodded. I know. The room waited. Then why keep fighting? Someone asked. Hale looked up. Because they're watching. He tapped the display, pulling up incoming signals. Not Dominion. Others. Alien transmissions encrypted, cautious, terrified. They're asking for our combat data. Brooks said in disbelief. Give it to them. Hale replied instantly. The room froze. All of it? Yes. Hale said, everything we learned, everything we paid for, outside the solar system. The galaxy listened. Species long under Dominion rule watched the impossible humans bleeding, burning, but still standing and fighting back. Rebel. Signals sparked like static. On the eternal verdict. Velas froze as new data streamed in. Fleet Commander. Multiple systems showing unrest. Thrax turned slowly, explained. They're copying human tactics. Vela said, local uprisings, ambushes, sabotage. Thrax felt something cold coil in his core. They learned from Earth. Yes. Silence. Stretched across the bridge. Earth was no longer alone. The Dominion fleet pressed harder. A full planetary strike began. Entire regions vanished. Human forces were pushed to the edge. Then the ground itself fought back. Cities collapsed inward, revealing massive weapon chambers beneath. Oceans split as submerged platforms rose and fired. Trains converted into missile launchers emerged from tunnels. Humanity had weaponized everything. Even desperation. Sir, Brooks said, voice breaking. Casualties are catastrophic. Hale's jaw tightened. We hold. He said, until they blink. The next weapon fire changed the war. A single human projectile streaked into space, small, fast, quiet. It hit a Dominion battleship. For one heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the ship exploded outward. Not from the impact. From itself. Its shields inverted. The blast tore through 3 nearby vessels. On the Dominion bridge. Horror spread. What was that? Thrax demanded. Vela stared at the data. They turned our defenses into weapons. Thrax remembered the warning footage, the demonstrations, the pride. They studied everything. He whispered. Across Earth, hope flickered. Human ships pushed forward again, not to win, but to prove something, that the Dominion could bleed. Thrax faced a choice no commander had faced in for 1,000 years. Press on, or retreat. Fleet Commander, Vela said carefully, continuing risks exposure. Thrax knew what that meant. Every loss was broadcast. Every weakness shared. Every defeat multiplied. Earth was not defeating the Dominion alone. It was teaching the galaxy how. Thrax stared at the burning planet. Hold position, he said finally. The order shocked the bridge. We reassess. Thrax continued. We do not advance blindly. For the first time in history, the Dominion paused mid-conquest. On Earth, Hale saw the change instantly. They stopped. Brooks said in disbelief, yes. Hale replied softly, outside, fires burned. Cities lay in ruins. But Earth still stood, and the galaxy had seen enough. As the Dominion fleet hovered in uneasy silence, new signals poured in, alliances forming, species coordinating, rebellions igniting. Hale leaned back, exhausted. They wanted to scare us, he said. They made us teachers. The silence did not mean peace. It meant fear. The Dominion fleet hung above Earth like a blade that had stopped mid-fall. Engines burned at low power. Weapons stayed locked, but ready. Commander Thrax stood alone on the bridge of the eternal verdict. For the first time in his long career, he did not know the correct move. Status, he said. Vela swallowed. Rebellions confirmed in 17 systems. Minor fleets refusing orders. Communication delays spreading. Thrax turned sharply. Delays? Yes. Commander, they are copying human signal masking. We cannot track them all. Thrax clenched his claws. Earth had not just resisted. Earth had infected the galaxy with defiance. On Earth, Colonel Aaron Hale had not slept in 30 hours. The command bunker smelled of metal, smoke, and exhaustion. Screens showed fires still burning across continents. But something new flickered between the ruins. Hope, sir, Brooks said, pointing at a live feed. Incoming signal. Non-Dominion. Hale stepped forward. The screen filled with an unfamiliar alien face, scarred, nervous, determined. This is Speaker Kesh of the Varium Coalition, the alien said. We saw your broadcasts. Hale said nothing. We were conquered centuries ago. Kesh continued. We believed resistance was impossible, But you showed us your enemy can bleed. The feet split. Another species appeared, then another, and another. We asked for one thing, Kesh said. Your data. Hale did not hesitate. You'll have full access, he replied. Weapons, tactics, mistakes, all of it. Brooks stared at him. Sir, that's everything. Hale nodded. That's the point. Across the galaxy, hidden rebellions became open wars. Dominion supply lines vanished. Outposts went dark. Patrols stopped responding. Everywhere, species copied human tricks, ambushes, false retreats, sensor floods, shield inversion attacks. The Dominion had never fought a learning enemy before. Thrax watched reports pile up faster than officers could read them. We are losing control. Velis admitted. Impossible. Thrax snapped. We are the Dominion. Yes, Velis said quietly, but we are predictable. The word cut deeper than any weapon. Thrax remembered the warning ritual of destruction footage sent to every new species. They had called it mercy. They had called it terror. Now it was proof of how they fought, proof of how they died. Commander, another officer said, voice tight. Human fleets advancing again. Thrax looked at the screen. Human ships were ugly, patched, burning, but they moved with confidence now. Not desperation, confidence. They're not trying to destroy us, Velis said. Thrax narrowed his eyes. Then what are they doing? They're holding. Velis replied, buying time. Time for others to rise. On Earth, Hale prepared the most dangerous move of the war. Phase 4, he ordered. Brooks stiffened. Sir, that's irreversible. I know, Hale said, but so is extinction deep beneath Earth's surface. Machines older than the invasion powered up, not weapons. Transmitters, every battle recording, every weakness, every countermeasure, broadcast openly, unencrypted. To every species, Brooks whispered. Yes, Hale said, even future enemies. The signal erupted across known space. The Dominion's greatest fear came true. Their myth shattered. Thrax watched the broadcast reach even his own bridge. Human footage played on Dominion screens. Dominion ships dying. Dominion commanders panicking. Dominion warriors running. Turn it off. Thrax roared. It's everywhere. Velis said, we cannot stop it. Thrax felt something collapse inside him. For 1,000 years of terror, ended by transparency, Earth's skies burned again as the Dominion tried one last push. This time, humans were ready, not to win, to endure. Cities evacuated in advance, traps laid in rubble, decoys everywhere. Dominion forces landed and were swallowed. Urban combat turned into nightmares as humans fought from shadows, floors, ceilings. Anywhere but the front. They don't retreat. An alien officer screamed. No. Thrax muttered. Watching the feed. They adapt. Casualties mounted on both sides. Earth paid in blood, but the Dominion paid in certainty. Then the message arrived. From within the Dominion itself. Commander Thrax, the voice said, tense and low. This is High Strategist Malkier. Thrax straightened. Report. We can no longer guarantee fleet unity. Malkier said. Several command groups recommend withdrawal. Withdrawal. The unthinkable. We still have superiority. Thrax argued. Yes. Malkier replied. But not control. And without control we risk collapse. Thrax looked at Earth. Still burning. Still alive. What is your recommendation? He asked. A pause. Disengage. Malkier said. Before the galaxy learns more. On Earth, alarms quieted. Dominion ships began to pull back. Slowly. Carefully. No cheers rose from the bunkers. Humanity had learned caution. They're leaving, Brooks said softly. Yes, Hale replied, but not defeated. He looked at the casualty lists, the dead, the cities gone, the cost. They won't forget us, Brooks said. Hale nodded. We won't forget what they taught us. As the last Dominion ship vanished into hyperspace, signals flooded Earth, allies, offers, questions, requests for guidance. Hale leaned back, exhausted beyond words. We didn't win a war, he said. We started a revolution, far away, aboard the eternal verdict. Thrax watched the stars stretch as the fleet retreated. For the first time in his life, he understood fear, not of death, but of what came after, because the galaxy had seen the Dominion run, and nothing would ever be the same again. The galaxy did not celebrate Earth's survival. It studied it, in hidden chambers, council halls, and rebel outposts. One question echoed again and again. How did a primitive species break the Dominion? Commander Thrax stood before the High Conclave of the Dominion. For the first time in 4,000 years, the chamber was quiet. No chance, no certainty, only tension. They were supposed to fear us, one elder said. Every species does. They did, Thrax replied. For 7 seconds, the chamber stirred. 7 seconds, another demanded. Yes, Thrax said. That is how long it took humans to stop seeing doom and start seeing data. A ripple of discomfort moved through the elders. They did not fight like warriors, Thrax continued. They fought like engineers, like survivors, like students. The elders did not like that word, students. On Earth, Colonel Aaron Hale stood at a memorial overlooking the ruins of a city that once held millions. Names scrolled endlessly across stone. Brooks stood beside him. We won, Brooks said quietly. Hale did not answer, because winning had never been the goal. Survival had. Sir, a technician called from behind. Incoming signal. Dominion origin, priority highest. Hale turned slowly, put it through. The screen lit up. Commander Thrax appeared older now, tired, stripped of the confidence that once ruled stars. Hale of Earth, Thrax said. I speak without threat. That's new. Hale replied calmly. Thrax nodded. So is reality. The alien paused. The Dominion withdraws from all contested systems, Thrax said, including Earth. Hale felt no relief, only caution, and Hale asked, and Thrax continued. We formally end the warning protocol. The words landed like a shockwave. You admit it failed. Hale said. No. Thrax replied. I admit it worked, until it met you. Silence stretched between. To species who had changed history. Why tell me this? Hale asked. Thrax's eyes dimmed. Because others will come, he said. And unlike us, they will not warn you. The signal ended. Across the galaxy, the consequences unfolded. Dominion worlds revolted openly. Former client species declared independence. Some fought. Some negotiated. Some simply left. All carried one thing in common: human combat data. Earth became something it never intended to be. A teacher, not a piece, but of resistance. 6 months later, a new assembly gathered in orbit above a neutral world. Humans stood beside aliens who had once bowed to the Dominion. No throne, no empire, just representatives. Hale addressed them all. We didn't plan this, he said. We didn't want to lead. A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. But when extinction knocked, Hale continued, we did what humans always do. We learned. He gestured to the display showing thousands of adaptations inspired by Earth's defense. You can copy our weapons, Hale said, but more important, copy our mindset. Study your enemy. Question fear. Share knowledge. This is not how empires survive, one alien delegate said. Hale met their gaze. No, he replied. This is how species survive. Far away, Commander Thrax watched the assembly from exile. He was no longer a commander, no longer feared, just a witness. He replayed the first human broadcast again, the one that began it all. The footage meant to crush hope. Now it did the opposite. 7 seconds, Thrax whispered. 7 seconds that ended an empire. On Earth, life slowly returned. Cities rebuilt. Memorials grew. Children learned history that ended with survival instead of extinction. One child asked in school, why did the aliens lose? The teacher answered simply, because they believed fear was stronger than thinking. Years later, Hale stood alone in a quiet control room. On the wall hung a simple plaque from ultimatum to instruction. Below it, preserved in glass, was the first Dominion warning message. The threat that became a lesson. Brooks entered softly. Sir, he said. Explorers report something new. Hale turned. Another empire. Brooks nodded. Different region, different species, same pattern. Hale sighed. Did they send a warning? He asked. Yes, Brooks said. A long one. Hale allowed himself the smallest smile. Good, he said. Archive it. Brooks hesitated. You don't want to reply. Hale thought for a moment. Then he spoke. Send them a message. What should it say? Hale looked at the plaque, at the ruined world that taught humanity how to live, and he answered, thank you for the information.